Hello, thanks for joining me, astrologer Patrick Arundell, for your in-depth horoscope forecast for week commencing the 12th of August for the Sun or the Ascendant. If you've yet to subscribe to my channel, I'd be honoured if you did so now. This week kicks off with Jupiter starting to go forwards after a 4-month backward journey. That's something we can all celebrate. Jupiter is about expansion, it's about travel, it's about philosophy, higher education, anything to do with overseas connections, but it's also to do with a kind of essential fairness. And over the last 4 months, if there have been parts of our existences which seem to have been bogged down and restrained in some way, I do feel that things can start to pick up. Now, Jupiter is supported superbly by Mercury, which moves on Monday into the sign of Leo. It's actually coming back into this sign after its retrograde, and by the middle of this week is fully out of shadow. And this is going to see us all feeling much more outward going, much more upbeat, and a little less introverted. Its rotation through the sign of Cancer does bring a more emotional and watery element to the logic that Mercury asks us to embrace. But it is true on Monday that Uranus, the planet of freedom and of rebelliousness, does go into a retrograde itself, which will last until the 10th of January next year. I think if you have been making some changes to the foundations of your world, especially those that are more innovative, it's possible that some experiments haven't worked, and the interim period will ask us to look at those things afresh and to perhaps settle down the things that have been going well and perhaps find other things that may complement the different and innovative approaches we have been trying. But this is a week when there is also a full moon, and this full moon occurs in the friendly democratic sign of Aquarius. But with the Sun and Venus still in a glorious alliance all through this week, I think really what the Aquarius full moon is asking us to do is just apply a little bit of detachment to the things that we do feel passionate about, or the relationships that are really engaging our thinking, or perhaps it's a romance or a creative strand. It's about balancing, toggling between what's good for us as individuals and what we need to do to connect with other people. So if we get too caught up in our own agendas, that won't necessarily be such a good thing. Now, Mars is going to be leaving the sign of Leo this week and making its way into the sign of Virgo, where it's going to be through to the 3rd of October. Now, Mars moving into Virgo is an interesting one because Mars is about I, and it's certainly been emphasising that in its transit over the last 6 weeks through Leo. In the sign of Virgo, it's more to do with virtuousness, and it's therefore more about what we can do for others, being of service, but also making sure that we use the extra energy it gives us in an industrious, practical and productive way. So if we can get fitter, if we can sort out our diets a little bit more, if we can organise our existence to the point that they're working really superbly well, then we'll be surfing the energy of Mars really very successfully. So Mars in this area is a much more productive, practical and busy influence, not quite so social. But that social factor that has been so powerful in the heavens in recent weeks is still very, very strong this week. It is just finding that balance. But I think the combination of the Sun and Venus is glorious, and Jupiter going forwards is something that we can all savour. Your specific forecast, Virgo, has something of a contrast threaded through it. On Thursday, there is a full moon in a very sensitive location. Balancing the more practical and more emotional parts of your existence do come sharply into focus over the next 2 weeks. But Mars on the same day moves into your own sign, which is going to give you a lot more conviction and drive and determination right through to the 3rd of October. But because your ruler relocates back into Leo this week, your 12th solar house, And also, there is that continuing conjunction between the Sun and Venus in your 12th house too. I do feel that you may find yourself feeling quite sentimental still, quite nostalgic, or perhaps just wanting to withdraw a little bit. You can be hypersensitive about the people who are worthy of you, and that's a good thing. If there are people around you that are not worthy of your trust and your loyalty, this may be something that you're going to grapple with strongly over the next weeks, but Mars will give you the determination to assert what's truly right for you. But also this week, Uranus goes into a retrograde. Just as, of course, Jupiter is coming out of his. But Uranus retrograde just suggests that when it comes to the more creative parts of your situation, where you've been opening your world up to new approaches, from now through till the 10th of January, it just suggests that if you have been experimenting recently, there may be some things that you start to sift out that haven't quite worked for you, but there could be other new novel approaches set to emerge. If you're interested in personal astrology based on your time, date and place of birth, please visit the link beneath this video and go to my personal horoscope store. You can achieve a 30% discount by ordering a 12-month forecast and a character analysis, or choose to have a one-to-one reading with me. It's been a real pleasure being with you. Good luck and goodbye for now.